So time to talk Tottenham Hotspur. Head coach Thomas Frank there hit out at supporters of booing goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario in their defeat to Fulham, saying they are not true fans, as you just heard there. Charlie, Thomas Frank criticising the fans, although he's saying they're not true fans, never seems to end well when you turn on the fans.
No, it doesn't end well when it comes to loggerheads and blaming the fans are blaming the players, the manager, etc. It never comes across well. It's never the right thing. Look, fans pay the money. They're entitled to show their frustrations. And what I kind of looked at more than anything for the goal was Vicario's reaction to getting back in the goal. It's almost, listen, I'm the quickest, but it's not like he's trying to sprint back in the goal, and he's more shocked that the ball obviously goes in. Yes, and then all of a sudden they cheer the next time it comes and when he kicks it out of play, right? But that's part and parcel of being a footballer, that's part and parcel of being a football fan, right? It's an emotional game, it's an emotional sport. So I don't really understand where Thomas Frank's coming from, if I'm honest. And this won't be the first time he's experienced a team when he was at Brentford. I'm sure many times Brentford fans have obviously showed frustration towards their team's performances, whether in the Premier League or the Championship.
There was an angry exchange between Pedro Porro and Lucas Bergvall at full time. Now, Porro went on Instagram to defend his teammates too, saying that he won't tolerate fans booing. So, I mean, when he says he won't tolerate fans booing, like you've just said, you can't really stop that.
No, you can't stop that. I don't really get what he's trying to come across as. To stop, we won't tolerate that. So what are they going to do about it? How about perform better on the pitch? How about put in performances where they've got something to cheer about and get off their seat, other than get off their seat and boo at the lacklustre performances you've been putting in? Like I said, I went to a Tottenham-Chelsea game, and other than when Christian Romero came for 10, 15 minutes and all the fans started clearing because there was a bit of enthusiasm about it, the rest of them were poor. If that's something that's continued on and now we're in this position after the Fulham game, then I think the players need to have more of a chat about what they're going to do for the fans, i.e. better performances.
Just reading that now, that the Instagram post that he said that. In terms of booing, though, I mean, as a fan, I must admit I don't tend to boo my own players at the club that I support.
That's frustration, though, Tom.
No, I can. I'm not saying that people shouldn't, but when you are a player and you're hearing it, let's say you know that you and your teammates are really putting it in, it just hasn't worked out. If you get booed, does that make you think, well, what's the point of me doing this? I'm not actually going to try any harder. No, or does it give you a kick up the backside to try harder?
No, mate, because when you say that, you're putting everything in, the team's putting everything in, it's just not happening on the day. Well, that should warrant and that should show to the fans that are watching that you're putting everything in, you're continuously trying your hardest, but it's just going to be one of those days where it happens, right?
But if the fans don't see that and think that you're not putting it in, they'll boo.
But they will be able to see that because you'll be able to put their effort in. They're the paying people, and they can voice any concerns they have or positive reactions to it. That's how I see it. And you can't honestly say, it's when you go through it, you can hear the boos. Well, you can hear them when they're positive singing about your team, and you can also hear the negative. That's part and parcel of football. But if you're doing your job properly and performing for your football club, then it all goes in one direction. Well, when the cracks start picking in, though, Tom, that's when you start having these conversations we're having, players coming out and defending each other. It never ends well.
We need to speak to a Tottenham fan then, don't we? And Mitchell Fretton joins us now. Mitchell, are your players putting in performances to mean that this booing isn't justified?
No, it is justified, to be honest. I think Charlie's hit the nail on the head with everything he said. And when you consider the home record and what's been happening at Spurs this season, I think when you go 2-0 down inside 6 minutes in a home game as well against a team that have one of the worst away records in the league this season, the frustration's going to boil over. And I think us as a fan base, Spurs, we do have quite a sensitive set of fans and we have very high expectations and things do tend to boil over maybe a little bit quicker than they would at other clubs. But I think fans have every right to be able to boo their team and their players if they're not happy with how they're performing. Do I necessarily like it? No. Do I blame the fans? Absolutely not, because the performances have been so below par this season, Tom, that it's making everybody so angry. I was just watching the clips back when you were playing it there, and I was getting angry at it again because of just how poor it is.
Mitchell, I went with a mate of mine to watch the Chelsea game, right? And I literally watched it. I said to him, "Yo, lucky you was that Harry Kane was playing for you then, and you was getting out of these situations. You playing poorly, and then he would lock up with a goal or a brace or last-minute winner, etc." Now look at it now as when the fans go. The reason why they're booing, right, is because they are not seeing the effort or the performances. Tom was saying sometimes as players, you put in the effort, it just doesn't work, right? You have one of them off days. And the fans can feel that as well. This never goes the other way. Almost when the players are on the pitch, they're giving 100% effort, and you don't get that affection from the fans. So I think, in my experience anyway, whenever the fans are booed, 9 times out of 10 it has been warranted.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for for Spurs, like I said, we've had so many years of relying on Harry Kane and Heung-min Son and players of that quality to be able to bail us out, and now we don't. And what I really, really don't like is, one, Thomas Frank's reaction to the whole thing, and two, the players. There's such a huge rift between the squad and the fans at the moment. And when you couple everything with the fact that we have one of the highest ticket prices in Europe, and fans have turned up in 2025 and seen us win 3 times at home in the Premier League. I mean, realistically, what do they expect?
But what players, Mitchell, have you got that's going to step up now and get you out of this position, or get everybody going in the right direction? Like you say, the manager's now not turn on the fans, but just saying they're not true fans. Well, hang on a minute, they're just paying the highest ticket prices in Europe to come and support their club. And if they ain't getting the reaction or the performances from the players, they're going to show their disappointment.
Yeah, well, without a doubt, I think a lot of it is to do with team selection. I mean, we brought in Xavi Simons in the summer, and we've barely seen him. He's supposed to be that sort of talisman, that star player that we need in the absence of people like James Maddison and Kulusevski while they're injured. But we're not seeing any attacking intent. We're not seeing any aggression, and it feels like I'm a broken record because I keep saying it. But the football isn't what fans expect. And as a result, they're getting frustrated, and things are just getting worse and worse.
What do you expect, Mitchell? What do you expect what do you and the fans expect from Tottenham, like, as performances?
We expect attacking football. I think that's one of the main principles of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, is to be on the front foot.
Thomas Frank doesn't do that. You would have known that when you brought in Thomas Frank.
Yeah. We know that to an extent, and I think to an extent there was an acceptance that Thomas Frank's more pragmatic and he was going to shore us up a bit more defensively, but it's been such a contrast to how we're used to seeing us play, I mean, particularly under Ange, that I think now that we're playing games, we're playing defensively, and we're still losing and shipping a load of goals. For that reason, that's why the frustrations are so high around the club.
Are you turning on your manager then, now that he has mentioned that he says that some fans aren't true fans? Are you turning on him now?
Yeah. What I think, Tom, to be honest, what Thomas Frank said about that is unacceptable. The fact that he's come into the club, he's been here for a matter of months, and that he's gone to the media and thinks that he can tell people who are true Tottenham fans. Some of these people have been supporting the club for their entire life. I just think it's so out of order for the people that go every week, for the people that pay hundreds, thousands of pounds to watch the team every couple of days, and who have been through a lot of pain in recent years. I don't like it at all, and I think if he continues doing it, it's only going to go one way. It's inevitable.
And Mitchell, you're saying if he continues to do that, is that something that the fans are going to feel that frustration and let him know that they're frustrated as well by his team selection, his team performances? Because I always say, the manager is the one that's holding the flag. He's the flag bearer. He's the one that's got to answer the questions.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we've seen the players adopting this weird thing where they're all gathering in the centre of the pitch and walking off together in some sort of show of unity. But I just feel like that creates an even bigger rift, because it shows how detached they are from the fans. You want the fans on side. They're your supporters. They want you to win. They want you to do well. So being sort of defiant in that manner, and then Frank sort of backing up with what he's saying, it makes no sense to me.
What can the players do to get back on side, though? Because it won't be down... The attacking football won't be down to them. What do they have to do to get you back on side?
Perform. Mitchell, you said perform, Tom. Yeah. They've got to perform. They've got to perform, win games of football, show they're playing for the club, giving 100% with and without the ball. At the moment, you're not seeing that. Whether that's the manager's instructions or what, he's not saying not give 100%, but to perform in a certain way. That's giving effort, blood, sweat and tears for the shirt. And obviously Tottenham are not doing that, and the fans are feeling that effect as well, witnessing with their own eyes.
But how bad is it going to get then, Mitchell? Because tomorrow night it's Newcastle away. Are we all agreed that Newcastle always beat you at St James's Park, and their home record is excellent as well. It would actually be a shock if Tottenham were to get anything there. Doesn't mean they won't, but it would be a surprise if they did. And then it's his old club Brentford at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where your record is very, very poor. So how bad can this get?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a real sliding doors moment. We've already lost to Newcastle at St James's Park once already this season. I think, as much as I hate to be so pessimistic about things, I cannot see a world in which we win on Tuesday night. And then if we lose to Brentford at the weekend, he's got to be in serious trouble. You know, it would be our 11th loss in the Premier League at home in 2025, which I think is our worst record in nearly 2 decades or something like that. And I think losing games at home is the number one thing that isn't accepted within the fan base. And if it continues, I don't see how he can keep his job if he cannot put wins up in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, it's one of the worst home records in the top 4 divisions. Mitchell, thank you.